Hey everybody, welcome to the weekend review for Module 7. All right, let's get into it real quickly here. So right now this is Monday, Module 7's just started. You just handed in Module 6. I don't have Module 6 graded yet, but Module 5 is all complete. So I'm going to kind of highlight a couple of things here in today's video. And big thing is just kind of let me know if I'm missing something as far as any graded items. But let's go ahead and kind of get into this. First thing, uh, extra credit. So that was I talked about it in last week's weekend review, but it is up there. Some of you have already turned it in. Congratulations, that's amazing. But as long as you get that extra credit turned in by the end of the class, I'm good. So you have Sunday until the end of Module 8 to get that into me. So we got that. Also, let's see here. Um, the When we talk about extra credit and things of kind of that nature, if you remember way back when, I did say that I'm going to be dropping the lowest quiz grade. So you got that in there too. So if you had a quiz grade that wasn't so hot, don't worry. That's going to be taken out of the calculation. The overall points for the course will go down to 975 points. Okay, so there's that. Let's talk a little bit. Let me go back into grades real quickly here. So what I'd like you to do, I don't want to pull up the grade book because it will show everybody's grades. But I am graded through Module 5. You've just handed in Module 6 a few hours ago. I'm shooting this on Monday, and I hope to have that done relatively soon because as we come to the end, I know you guys are very, very anxious about kind of what your grades are, especially if you need extra credit and that kind of stuff. So, all caught up through Module 5. What I'd like you to do is make sure you go through the grade book and see if there's any missing items. Remember, I do accept late work. There is a small deduction on points, but I do encourage you to do that. I mean, if you're missing one of those 25-point assignments, that can be kind of a big deal when it gets to the end and I'm calculating your grades. So, even though I might give you 15 points for a 25 pointer, again, that's pretty significant points. So, up to you. If you do notice that you have a missing item and you turned it in, let me know. I know some of you had emailed me some items. I hope I have caught all of those, but if you were one of the folks that maybe emailed me something, just let me know and I'll go back and email. I literally get about 110 emails a day, so sometimes they get drowned out with all of the other stuff. So just let me know and I'll go back in and scan for your name and see if I can find it and get that graded and put in there. But again, if it's late, you know you didn't turn it in, turn it in. Let me know. Send me a text. Say, hey, Chris, I just turned in module so and so. Maybe one of our learning activities or what have you. Just let me know it's in there so I can go back to that Dropbox and grade it. I do scan all the Dropboxes. It does let me know when things have been submitted. I got a new entry in there. But it might be, a little bit of a delay before I go back and look at that Dropbox. But if you let me know you've done something, that'll put it on my radar. All right, so there's that. Another thing that I'd like you to do this week, and by tomorrow, so this is Tuesday, by tomorrow at 5 o'clock, all of you are going to have some audio feedback that'll be attached to your progress journals. So, and I'm going to talk a little bit to you more individually. Right now, I'm speaking to you as a class, obviously, but I'll speak to you individually. So, look for the audio feedback in the progress journals this Tuesday by 5 o'clock. Please go back and check that. That'll be attached to your progress journals for Module 6. Yeah, Module 6 that you just turned in, so look for that. And all right, so that kind of all of the things that we're doing with the class maintenance wise. Let's talk a little bit about Module 7. I'm trying a little bit something different here too as well with Module 7. So and in response to your progress journals and the muddiest point question, I'm bringing some of that into Module 7 as well. So I do read those, and there was a consensus on some things, and hopefully I will help with this video that I'm putting in here. So, Module 7, service line costing, we're now drilling down onto a kind of more granular level with our costing processes, our normal readings and presentations. But let me pop in here and show you what we've got. I've added a 30-minute, I'm going to get my picture off here altogether. I've added a 30-minute video in here, and I'm going back in time. I'm going back to Module 5. And when that's especially that quiz that you had with the math problems. I will say I was very impressed. Uh, there were many of you. I would say we had 2 to 3 perfect scores, and that blew me away. I mean, perfect scores. Many of you made a really good attempt at it, and a few of you kind of melted down when you got to question three. So remember, if you put something in, as crazy as it might be, if you try to hack it out and hash it out and mash it out and put some numbers in there, I can give you some credit. If you don't put anything in there, unfortunately, I can't give you any credit. But yeah, overall, I was very impressed with the attempts that were made on that quiz. Um, there were again only a small matter, a grouping of people, 2 to 3 that got every question right. So with that, and again through the progress journals, many of you wanted to kind of revisit those questions. So there's a video in here. I'm going through each one of the questions and breaking it down how to solve it. I'll say in general, I think what there are really two different things, I guess, two different ways people looked at the module 5 quiz. They either way overthought it and had all these kind of calculations, or they way underthought it and just divided a couple numbers together and came out with something. So um, I think the solutions were not too difficult. I mean, when you actually lay out the problems. So take a look at that video, especially because in that video I am going to be including in there or mentioning that these questions are going to come back. They're going to come back on the final. So I am going to change some numbers, but I'll leave everything all the same. So I'm not sure I'm going to bring back all 5 of them, and I'm probably going to avoid question 3. So for those of you that melted down when you got to question 3, that one I'll tell you right now, I'll leave that one off the final, but the other ones will be fair game. So look at the process on how those were done. I think leaving question 3 is not a big deal off the final because it really act. If you figure out how to do question 1 and question 2 in that quiz, you could have solved question 3 without too much calculation. So focus on those questions. Again, skipping question 3, which isn't too big of a deal if you already learned how to do 1 and 2. Okay, so there's that. So it's to your best interest to watch that video, maybe take some notes about how he solved the how I solved the equations, the problems, and then you'll be all set for the final. Okay, so that's kind of a little different thing in here versus our normal kind of introduction to accounting videos. We're going to drill down into some of those problems, which are the kind of the essential, I guess, essential things. I mean, I really want you guys to go away with variable cost, break even, and contribution margin. Those are some essential concepts that I really want you to go away from the class with. So, um, with just a wee little bit of math, not a lot, just a little bit. Okay, so there's that. All right, so our readings and presentations. Let's move on to our learning activity. Is going to be another essay assignment. You guys are doing really well with these kind of essay assignments. I'm very impressed with that. Trying to mix it up a little bit with a little bit of kind of problem solving, and then more of essay type stuff for you. And then this week, Module 7 quiz. So take home quiz. Well, obviously every quiz on an online program is take home. But this one is kind of your traditional take home in that I'm giving it to you and you have all week to work on it. So here are your questions this week. Again, no math, more of conceptual questions. So just make sure that you are answering those in a minimum of a full paragraph. So if you want the points, come up with well-rounded answers, full paragraphs, not 2 sentences, not one sentence. You might get by with 2 or 3 fantastic sentences, but I would shoot for 4 to 5 per paragraph. And you might need 2 paragraphs to answer some of these. Might. but you have all week to work on it, and there is the quiz, and then you're going to submit that to the Dropbox. So that's kind of a change for us. You're not going to be pulling up our normal multiple choice type thing or a timed um, quiz. All right, so there is that in our normal progress journal for number 7. All right, so this is that's pretty much it this week. Make sure to go in and check the audio feedback that will be attached to your progress journals for what module? Module 6. So go back into module 6. When is Chris going to have that done? He said he said he's going to have it done by the end of business on Tuesday, so 5 o'clock on Tuesday. Um, so go back in and check that. That's where I'm going to speak to you more personally and just kind of a check in with the course, maybe what items that we're missing. I'm going to go through the grade book with you, and they only take about 1 to 2 minutes that I'm doing that. So do check for that audio feedback. All right, that concludes the weekend review for Module 7. And as always, thanks for watching.